I'm not mad at that though. I'm not mad at that when people say that at all.
Disagree. To me, it go Forest Hills, the off season, then Bourne Center. We're sleeping on the off season.
What you say?
The off season? Are y'all sleeping?
Welcome back to the channel, episode 61 of the TKIA podcast. I always mess that up. The TKIA podcast, along with your host, me, my co-host, Don, and our special guest of the day, Mr. GB3. You guys know him. You guys love him. You better go watch his podcast because it will be in the link in the description below. And today's episode 61.
Forgot. Before we start, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the TKIA podcast again, episode 61. Please follow us. Our personal Instagram will come below, but for now, follow us on social media. Know It All Podcast YT, TikTok, Know It All Podcast, YouTube, Know It All Podcast. I don't know if TikTok will still be here by the end of the month, but I guess we'll see. So we're kind of trying to pause on content there because I'm trying to figure out if we're going to even need to upload content anymore. But yep, follow us on social media. Like I said, our personal Instagrams will be below during the whole show. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, welcome to episode 61. Don's drink of the day. We got some high noon passion fruit. Or is it great? Yeah, passion fruit. So it's a seltzer. It's tequila blended, and it's delightful to me. Not delightful to others. Also, I have some Douce on the side. I just wanted to show everybody some Douce. So yeah. Here we go, man. Douce. And glad to be here. Let's do it.
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about the GOAT.
Man.
Because you need titles. Today's video is a video that I just happened to come across, and we're going to react to it.
Man.
It is this nigga done?
My king.
No.
I'm done.
It is a 1v10 LeBron video. So the other words is one LeBron fan versus 10 LeBron haters. Not shocking, but hey, it's built for content. And we're going to watch it. So we're going to start now because the video is an hour long. And if it's too loud, y'all let me know.
A dude that does this, crowning himself, that's the opposite of aura.
That's crazy.
Let's talk about Kyle Kuzma, how we passed him the ball during the bubble to make
Let's talk about Kyle Kuzma as a sentence I did not expect to hear today.
That's the thing with LeBron. We always redefine that line of clutch.
You picked the line.
LeBron has to go jump from team to team. He's a glorified Patrick McCaw.
I'm actually a bigger
Jesus,
Jimmy Butler hater
that is ridiculous.
than freaking LeBron.
That's apparent. That's apparent.
Jimmy Butler is annoying. His team sucks.
Not what I expected. Welcome to One Fan versus 10 Haters. We have Isaac here, supernova prodigy, who's about to debate 10 of LeBron's biggest haters. We have a series of debate questions. If by the end of this you can convince one of them to become a LeBron fan, you win. If not, the haters win, which is obviously what I want to happen. First topic, no one will break LeBron James' scoring record.
Pause.
I know you're finna say some shit you do not believe.
No, it won't happen.
Not in this lifetime. Maybe like 100 years. But not today.
It won't happen. I think we won't even be here if it happens then.
Yeah, it'll be a long time if it does.
And
Very long time.
And y'all know I'm a LeBron fan. At least y'all should know. That's my all-time favorite player. I'm sure that's Terrence's all-time favorite player too. I'm sure that's not Garrett's all-time favorite, but I don't think he has an issue with Bron. I think you're kind of like in the middle. Wait, who is your all-time favorite? Who is your all-time favorite player?
MJ.
Oh, okay. But I just genuinely think he was just blessed by God to just be so durable and to just play for so long, still playing now at the age 40. I just don't think that record would be broken off of that alone. Genuinely, off of that alone. And it's not even just the years, it's the years and how healthy he's been throughout all those years. He didn't really start getting hit with injuries until when the Lakers came, like real sitting out time. I remember he had the groin injury, the ankle injury, the foot. So that's why I don't think that record would ever be broken. Like someone has to play so many years, and I just don't see anyone at this moment that I think could do that. What do y'all think?
No. I mean, bro, you have to legit play 20 plus years, stay healthy as long as he did. Everybody keep talking about Luka, but Luka right now ain't been healthy. One injury really season will cost you everything.
Yeah, I mean, with this record, yeah, if you're trying to chase this record, yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, even LeBron mentioned this maybe a few days ago that he could play another 5 or 7 years if he wants to, but he already admitted that he's not going to do that. But to Don's point, his durability is an all-time high. I mean, no one has ever played, at age 40 or age 39 at his level. Nobody. So
nobody. Yeah.
So like, it's going to be a long time before somebody breaks that record. I mean, for Luka, I think he is a very great scorer, but I don't think he's going to be on LeBron's level, in terms of scoring or his, durability. So it's not even close. So, but yeah, this is going to be a very long time before we see
Luka
this
can put
breaking.
the points up. It's just the injury problem that's going to be the issue. Like that's
Yeah,
his main issue. He can score. He can score that thing.
Yeah, he can. I just don't think he's a scorer like LeBron, where he can score. He can score on all 3 levels, but I think LeBron does it better because of the fact of his durability and his athleticism and his strength.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There's other things that come along with it, though. So,
to be 6'9" and to be that strong and to be the fastest guy on the court most of the time, it's really hard to outscore that. Genuinely.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
That's what it is. But yeah, let's see what they say.
Also, I don't know if y'all watch their podcast, but they're on the same podcast.
Oh, them two?
Yeah, him and Isaac and Don, they're on the same podcast.
So dude on the left look familiar. I don't know about Buddy on the right. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe all of it.
Some respect.
Somebody is going to break LeBron's all-time scoring record. You think that just because he's doing it now, nobody's going to come after him and break him? That's what we thought about Kareem. And then guess what? Somebody broke it. Every single year, the NBA is becoming more efficient. It's getting easier for teams to score. Teams are getting smarter. All players are coming up and are learning 3 is more than 2. And so the way that people are learning how to play back.
I'm going to have to pause it. I don't like that logic, none whatsoever, because the problem with 3 being more than 2 is you take more threes and you miss more threes. So that's not guaranteeing you anything. So I don't really care for that.
I mean, another thing is he's making it seem like even though the scoring record maybe one day could be broken, I'm not saying it's never going to be broken. Never say never. He's forgetting how long it took for the record to be broken and to the caliber of player LeBron is. There's been other players that have gotten close enough to do it other than a Hall of Famer, a GOAT in a lot of people's eyes. It ain't been regular people just been doing it or regular superstars. It's been Hall of Famers, people that considered a GOAT doing it, and only one person did it. So I don't think that it's going to be that easy like he's saying it is.
That's not, because it took 40 years or something like that for LeBron to break it. So
yeah, I don't.
So it's not something that's going to happen like within the next 2 years or even a decade. It's not going to happen like that.
20 years, really?
I don't think he realized how hard it was for like Kareem to get that record. So the fact that he got it when he did, and
in a whole different era at that.
Exactly. And Garrett just said, bro, it's 40 years. That's a long time, bro. I don't see nobody breaking basketball. 40. And I was trying to reach 38K. Bro, I got 40K plus. So imagine him reaching like 43, 44 before he done. Possibly 45.
Who's behind Bron right now for most points?
Kareem.
No, I'm sorry. After Kareem. So third place now. Do we know?
Oh, not Stockton. The guy, I don't want to say the word that they messed up on YouTube. The mailman.
Right. The mailman.
Karl Malone. I didn't want to say his name.
Why didn't you want to say his name?
We all know why.
You don't know why. Tell me.
Can't say it on YouTube.
Okay. So how many points does Karl Malone have?
Let's look it up. I know LeBron's first.
I'm just curious. I want to see how far third place is now. Like, genuinely, I want to see how far third place is.
Currently, it says LeBron has 41. That can't be right. Is it right?
That is right, because he just hit 40 last year.
LeBron is 41, Kareem 38, and Malone is 36, and Kobe is 33.
Bro, think of all the people right there. Think of all the people right there of how long they've played and the role that they've had. That's going to be a hard feat. I'm not going to lie.
The next closest person that is active is KD, and he's at 29.
20-something, exactly. That was my whole point.
Nobody's breaking that record, bro. I don't care how good of a shooter you are. You're not breaking that record. That's longevity too, bro. It's not just skill. It's not just talent. She got all that. It takes longevity.
Where's
bro, to do
Curry on
something
that
like
list?
He didn't
Curry
keep up.
is at.
Is
I
he
just saw
at
his
least top
name.
10?
No, he's he's ranked 29th.
Oh, geez. Okay.
He's
All right.
all-time leading three-point
Well,
scorer.
yeah, I know that. But
At least he
Yeah,
got
he's
something
not.
because he ain't catching Braun record.
Nah.
so yeah, regarding to this guy, I just think that's weird that he says it like, yeah, someone will break that. I'm like, bro, look how long it took to break it. Look at the person that broke it, and then look at all the other people that are still active and how far they are.
2 records in the NBA that will never be broken: LeBron scoring record, and not Will Chamberlain, Bill Russell's 11 championships. It's that simple. Nothing else. Nobody's breaking either one of them.
Yeah, I don't see anyone, especially in this league, in this era now, getting 11 championships. Well, no, you have to break that, so you have to get 12.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Basketball is inherently more efficient, so people are going to come through. There's some middle schooler right now that's taking 30 footers who's going to show up, and he's going to break LeBron's scoring record. You don't think it's going to happen, but it probably will.
Yeah. And again, if the argument is for the entirety of space and time, something is more likely to happen than never, sure, that's not really refutable. But if we're being practical and we're talking about what you can actually envision based on something you see and you predict, there's no real reason to think that other than hope. We can say that, 3 is more than 2 and the game has made this much of a change in the last 20 years. Maybe it'll make that same change 20 more years. It's not really linear. There's only so much pushing of the envelope you can do. And while we've seen that huge envelope push happen in our time, that's not a guarantee that we're going to see another one. There's only so much space on the court, so much more math you can exploit. So I think maybe we're close to peak efficiency. If we're not, it keeps going up, fine. But you still have to reckon with the fact that somebody has to come in the league, be amazing right away, and be amazing for like 25 years without ever missing a full season of injury. The closest one is like Kevin Durant. He's missed several full seasons of injury because it's honestly, he's hilariously lucky to never have torn an ACL in 25 years. Do you expect the next great star, who's a great star from 19, to be hilariously lucky for 25 years? I wouldn't. Yeah, maybe he's cheating. I don't know. But you better hope the next GOAT cheats too then, because I don't see any reason why that's going to happen or any reason to expect that.
Listen, if you want to talk about that, the way that the game is being played, that's getting better. That's being more efficient. You want to talk about medicine, that's getting better. That's more efficient. Everything is being set up for players. Everything is being set up for players to come in bigger, better, faster, stronger, which is what you say about every single.
I disagree. I don't understand what he's not understanding. It's like, is it really realistic? No, it's really not. When you do the math, it's really not realistic. He obviously didn't hear him say he has not torn an ACL. He's not had a major knee surgery. He has not had a major anything leg-wise that will get people out for you can miss a whole season with just one injury.
Exactly.
And he has not had any of those in his years of playing. Do you know how hard that is? You have to tell a guy, you have to be as great as him, and you can't get injured. You can't teach not getting injured. That's just literally that's being blessed by God. Genuinely. I'm not trying to say it like in a LeBron fan in general. I think a lot of people are blessed by God. Steph Curry's blessed by God. I don't think anyone would be a better shooter than him in a long time. That's my personal opinion. Like, his durability is being blessed by God. That's nothing else you can do about that.
Generation afterwards, you may not think that it's going to be some massive explosion to where in 5 years we're going to instantly get the next GOAT. Basketball is going to be played for a long time, and the incremental differences, eventually we're going to get to 2055 and there's going to be some crazy kid and he's going to come along and be the next GOAT. He's going to break LeBron's record.
If the record's broken in 29-9 when we're all long gone, then you got it. You can have it.
I'm a win.
From the grave. All right,
that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Feast the person.
It's kind of hot in here.
Got a costume change? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, LeBron relied a lot on athleticism to go score all those points. We have players now like Luka who score like 30 points a night consistently without relying a lot on athleticism. And like this era too, you're shooting a lot more 3-pointers than ever before. So in what world would I not think someone who's taking more 3-pointers, scores 30 points a game at the age of 19, is not going to pass LeBron's scoring record? It sounds kind of ridiculous.
Okay, well, obviously relying on athleticism isn't true. We know he's extremely skilled. I'll let you have that. Because the truth is, you need athleticism, especially as you age. All these guys that rely on skill, eventually you have a little bit of athleticism that lets you make that skill happen. When that goes, it goes fast. That's what you talk about. A lot of small point guards end up, aging not super good because as soon as they lose that little edge they have that lets them use the other skills they have, they fall off a cliff. And while I think Luka's amazing, he is more athletic than you think. So we'll say that. He's not relying off of no athleticism. He's really good at change of speed and all this stuff that isn't necessarily running and jumping fast. He's athletic in his own way. As soon as he loses that, whatever age that may be, let's call it 35, he's going to be relying on a lot of tough buckets more than he does now. And you need to have some baseline of athleticism to age well. People don't typically age well as a volume scorer unless they're very athletic. You think of the best players that age well of all time: Chris Paul, Tim Duncan. They weren't out here averaging 25 at the age of 36. That's not the way their game's evolved.
They also don't rely on athleticism as much as LeBron does. Are you saying LeBron doesn't rely on his athleticism?
Anybody who has a high volume scoring relies on athleticism to some extent.
But LeBron doesn't rely on it more than other players?
This holiday, Verizon will turn your old or broken phone into...
I'm confused with what the argument is here.
But I'm honestly confused as well. I think he's just trying to make an argument that LeBron's not going to be the greatest.
He's more athletic than other players. The word rely implies that's all he has and that he needs that. Dude, have you seen the last couple of years? That guy is not jumping high anymore. Those eyes are not going above the rim anymore.
LeBron's still not jumping high?
Not as high as he was. His forehead is barely touching the rim.
And Luka just relies on step-back three-pointers.
All right,
so let me tell you what your GOAT did.
Okay.
Your GOAT.
What he just said?
Okay, so I feel like that.
They were talking about LeBron's athleticism.
No, I heard all that. The last part where he said Luka only relies on step backs. Does he not watch basketball?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't watch basketball. But that was evident when he started saying the same thing the other guy just said. He just repeated the exact same thing. So it's like there's no real argument there. I mean, has LeBron really relied on his athleticism? To be honest, if he has, I don't see that being a bad thing. Look where it has gotten him.
Not in his later days, he hasn't.
But even if he has, in that perfect world, let's say he has, why are we mad at it? Look where it has gotten him. He's not the one injured. He's not the one dunking all the time and then he on the bench because he's relying on his athleticism. He's perfectly fine still dunking on people. He may not dunk as high as he used to, which is true. I've seen it, but he's still almost averaging a triple-double this year, I think.
Dang, I ain't look at the stats. I gotta look that up. I ain't know he's averaging triple-double.
I said almost. I'm sure he's in around the 7 rebound, 8 assist range.
That's typical LeBron.
Which is elite for age 40. Elite. Like, you can't even ask for that.
Luka part. The Luka part kind of threw me off.
Oh, yeah, he don't watch basketball. Luka is
more than just.
Luka does way more than that. Luka's pacing, how Luka plays in general, that's hard to play someone like that. Look at Jokic, same exact way. It's hard to play someone like that.
Created a whole generation of stat stuffers, more than ever. Right? Everyone's about the stats. It's not about winning anymore. That's Jordan's generation. So you have all these people coming in, stuffing the stats. You have guys like T.J. Warren putting up 50-point games. That dude's not even on a roster. If he can do that, what do you mean it's never going to be broken? Then we're like, oh my God, LeBron was a freak of nature, 6'8", 250, right? But then we've seen another freak of nature in Wemby, 7'4", and can shoot it, right? Think about the next freak of nature. Not to mention that medicine has gotten insanely better and will continue to get better. Or what if, this is going to be crazy for a LeBron guy to try to visualize, but what if we get a generation that's actually tougher? You know, guys who could play back-to-back. Woo! That's so crazy.
Pick themselves up by their bootstraps.
82 games. And the last point I'm going to make to you is the NBA has turned to an offensive league. They have literally changed the rules to make players score more. Like,
I'm gonna pause it right there because I think she even making more of a case for LeBron getting that record even harder because I think people forget LeBron came to the league in 2003, not 2015.
That's what I be saying. Like they be acting like LeBron has played in the area that we're watching to this day. Are y'all forgetting when he got drafted?
In 03 when the NBA actually still had defense and it was harder to score? Like, do they forget about all that? He didn't score points in just this era. He scored points in 3 different eras. Like,
it's true.
And what they're also still forgetting. Wait, hold on. Let me ask y'all a question. Did LeBron create the stat stuffing? Because I don't think that's true.
No.
I don't think that's true at all. But I couldn't tell you who did, though.
No, whatsoever. Stat stuffing is from any player. Anybody can do that. Why does it specifically have to be brought up when it comes to LeBron? Because his longevity allowed him to play this long. I don't get it.
I mean, the one argument that I've seen is Michael Jordan got his stats buffed and stuff while he was playing, where they were recording him for a certain amount of steals that he actually didn't get in the game, but no one really brings that up when it comes to the GOAT debate. And I'm not trying to make this a GOAT debate in general. I'm just saying him for an example. Like I've seen plenty of people I've seen videos of that. Now, can we prove that? I mean, obviously not. But how is that any different?
Well, when you're a hater, you come up with any excuse to hate, and she's doing just that. It just, I don't know, bro. The whole soft era thing makes no sense because he came in the league at 03. I would never understand that argument. Like, he can't help the era he's playing in now. He's just still playing ball. But the soft era is just weird to me because he came in 03, bro. When he still had dudes like Kobe, Tim Duncan, all in their prime, mind you, Kevin Garnett, all the OGs of that era. So I don't understand the logic.
The no hands-on rule. We heard last season they were talking about getting rid of the charge. I mean, how much pushes of help do these offensive players need to surpass LeBron? It's going to happen. It's probably going to happen multiple times. And LeBron will be a thing in the past, just like y'all try to do to Jordan.
First thing I'd like to say is I love the implication that TJ Warren scored 50 off the backbone of LeBron James' existence in this world. I think we should do that with every random 50-point. Corey Brewer, let's give that one to Kobe. Let's just attribute it to every random star because we can. And, modern medicine is getting better. It's good now. And guys still can't play healthy seasons now. It's still an issue that every NBA star gets hurt. And I think it's under talked about that is becoming a huge thing. Almost no stars can survive. Why was that on?
Why do you think? It's my call. Finish your sentence and move on. What do you mean?
Players can't stay healthy now. I don't know if that's going to get fixed over time. It's under talked about how much the spacing has caused that to be a thing. So maybe we'll just cure ACL tears one day and we can just pop a pill and cure it overnight. Maybe that's possible. Maybe we have some Harry Potter growth spells that immediately make you just grow a bone back.
There's nothing more powerful.
I mean, he's right. Look at this year alone. We're all, for our viewers, we're all in the fantasy basketball together. Look at how many people have gotten injured this year. We're not even to All-Star break.
Exactly. My whole team hurt.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's like he's right. Like, will there be a day maybe that we'll have some type of medicine where we can take a pill and do that? Yeah, but we're already in 2025 and we have not seen no progress to that. So I don't think that is going to be medicine is that great. Like, I'm just going to be honest. I don't think medicine is as great as she's making it seem, or any of them is making it seem. Because if that was the case, then people would be good. I don't think medicine is going to change tremendously in the next 5 years either.
Nope. It's going to be the same.
So it's just, I don't know.
Just yapping.
I don't think modern medicine doesn't get that much better. Maybe.
We'll come back from ACL in 6 months, though.
Okay, the 24 seconds needs to be slightly respected.
Okay.
If LeBron came before MJ, there wouldn't be an argument about who is better. Mr. Deshaun,
he raised his hand fast.
Step forward.
That was instant.
Wait, pause. Let's talk about it. If LeBron came first, there wouldn't be an argument. I think there'd be an argument probably.
I don't understand that. It's an argument now, so why wouldn't it be an argument the other way around?
I don't know.
I think what they were referring to is, I don't know. We have to watch and see. But the only thing I can think of is if they're assuming that if LeBron played in the same era that MJ did, then I think that's where they say they wouldn't be an argument, because MJ did play in a tougher era than LeBron.
Oh, is that what they're saying? Oh, okay.
So that may be what they're saying. But
let's see what they're saying then, because if that's what they're saying, then I have to think about that.
By the way, we've already seen Jordan surpass the GOAT before him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem, since high school, was ready to be the greatest player, just like we saw LeBron James. Kareem in his career, 6 NBA finals, right, where he won, okay? And he had made 10 appearances, just like LeBron, except he happened to win more than LeBron did. Kareem, the all-time scoring leader, just like LeBron, correct? He also is top 10 in rebounds and might be up there in block shots as well. So we've already seen an all-around player with an unstoppable move and the persona bravado as I'm the greatest. And what did Jordan do? Surpassed him, right? He went 6-0. That's 100% in the finals. He also has the MVPs to match up with him and 6 finals MVP, which is something that Kareem did not do. So we have already seen this iteration of Jordan following up someone who is deemed as the greatest. So if you reverse the roles, there's still no debate. Jordan tops LeBron every time.
I appreciate your love for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Unfortunately, that is entirely irrelevant. This is not a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus LeBron James conversation. It is Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. If any of that mattered, you would have Kareem at 2. and LeBron at 3. Do you?
I have LeBron at 4.
All right, so clearly I'm speaking to somebody with an outrageous worldview on LeBron James. So
LeBron at 4.
That makes total sense now why you would bring that up. Unfortunately, I live in reality.
I don't
I do not
understand.
believe
Who's the top 3?
I could take LeBron at 2. I don't understand how he's 4. I don't understand.
I mean, who's your top 3 then?
Who? No, time out. LeBron and MJ are 1 and 2. Cool with that.
That's what I'm saying. So he said Kareem. So who's the?
Kareem is 3 for me.
Who's the third? 3. That's what I'm saying.
I got Kareem.
He got MJ and he said.
Oh,
he
so
said
he
he
has
got
MJ, Kareem. So who's his third? That's what I'm saying. So who's his third spot?
I'm assuming he's going to say something stupid. But
because he already saying he got MJ at 1, which we know that, and then he said Kareem.
He didn't mention.
Bron is at 4. Then who's number 3?
He didn't mention a third player.
Right, that don't make no type of sense. I'm not gonna lie. That's crazy.
So I'm confused. So y'all top 3 is who?
Who top 3? Ours?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. What's y'all's? Y'all say that already?
Bron, MJ.
I got MJ at 1 and LeBron at 2. 3 has been interchangeable for me, but
yeah, I got Bron at 1. I got MJ at 2. Number 3, I could go Kareem, but interchangeable. Yeah, it's interchangeable right now.
I mean, really, honestly, though, I mean, if you ask like other fans like worldwide, I mean, you'll hear more fans, talk about, LeBron being outside the top 3. Honestly, I mean, you have some people that say Bill Russell is number 1, honestly, and then other players. So, I mean, I've heard even, Kobe say, Kobe's top 3. So, I mean, you're gonna hear, people say neither LeBron or MJ not even top 2 or number 1. So. It's not really a surprise.
Well, that's a surprise to me. I've never spoke to anyone that didn't have MJ in their 1 or at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my opinion on that is different because I've never seen anyone say that MJ has not been in their 1 or 2. I've heard Bron's plenty of time though. So sometimes I think it do just be hating in general. But everybody also at the end of the day is still entitled to their opinion. But let your opinion make sense, though. Let your opinion make sense. Like, that's how I feel about it. Like, that's just me. Everybody has an opinion. I get it. But I ain't going to listen to you if your opinion just sounds stupid. Because that sounds stupid. Like, LeBron at 4, I want to know who's at 3. I need to know who's at 3. Because that don't make sense.
I guarantee he's going to say Kobe. I'm calling it now. How much am I bet?
If he even say it.
He might.
All those things you said make sense. If you're simply looking at it, that all Jordan had to do to pass up and be the GOAT is check boxes on paper. And that makes total sense. As a Jordan fan, you see number 6, number 0, he's the GOAT. LeBron, the argument for him has nothing to do with whatever Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did. He's a better player, that he's, the typical things, bigger, faster, stronger, but he's a better passer. Scoring, let's call it equal. If you want to give it to Jordan by edge because of whatever reasons you have, sure. LeBron's a better interior scorer. If you want to give Jordan jump shooting, go ahead. Scoring is close enough. The passing is a big difference. I think LeBron's more versatile defensively. He's obviously the higher IQ player, lifts people up around him better, the better playmaker in that way. If you believe that he is truly the better player all around, which, many LeBron fans do, obviously you don't, that would be enough that if he came first, you wouldn't see Jordan pass him up. So much of why Jordan is revered as his unquestioned GOAT is nostalgia, is he came first, is he was the first guard to come in and be a guy that showed you can, win a title around a perimeter player when previously it was all big men, like you said. If LeBron had did that first, that talking point would be irrelevant. He would be great, obviously, he'd be in the conversation, but none of that nostalgia would be attached to him, and he wouldn't have this reverence about him. He wouldn't be the same outside the court figure because we would have already had LeBron to deify in that way. So all of that type of bigger than basketball stuff that's attached to Jordan's name would be gone. There'd be very little argument, especially if LeBron presumably dominated that generation in the same way Jordan did, which I don't have any doubt he would. Do you?
Yeah, I do. And I think you made a couple of points that aren't based in fact and more based in opinion.
That's all it is.
Well, no, there are some facts to back it up, some of which that I've named, right? You talked about being a more versatile defender. The Defensive Player of the Year awards don't say that.
Oh, I hate when people have that. Like,
I'm going to go ahead and stop him, bro. Jordan can't play 1 through 5. He's not more versatile than LeBron. I'm not hearing it. That discussion's already dead. Jordan's not guarding no center. Jordan's not blocking the center. He's not doing it on a consistent basis. I don't give a damn how many defense players you want. Rudy Gobert got how many? 4, 5?
Perfect example.
Come on, bro. I'm not trying to hear none of no defensive player of the year award. We all know, first of all, Bron got robbed out of one of them. And he should have won unanimous MVP in 2013, and he should have won defense player of the year. I'm not hearing anything about awards. You want to talk about MVPs? Cool, I guess. You want to say that make you better? I don't think it does. Because LeBron's been robbed out of about 4 of those.
I don't think anything that can be voted on that you can't see in the naked eye would make someone better. Because if that's the case, LeBron will probably have more MVPs than anyone.
You can't call somebody a better defender if you can't guard every position. And he can clearly guard every position. You can't. How can you be a better defender? That makes no sense to me.
And I think you have to highlight the era in the game that they were in during that time. MJ and them.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like that's the big difference. Like if MJ was here now, would he still probably be a good defender? Yeah, but I don't think he would have all them defensive players against people would think because of just so many people now. Like it's just you gonna tell me MJ can shut down KD? I'm sorry, he's just gonna shoot over you. That doesn't mean that MJ can't play defense. Of course he can. But if somebody can shoot over you, what can you do about it? And I think Bron had to deal with so much more of that in that era versus MJ. I'm not saying that era wasn't hard at all, but they were definitely not natural scorers like it was now. So I just think it's a different discussion that no one can really say is anyone's fault there, which I agree with you, Terrence, is like with awards, it kind of does get shaky because we know it's more politic versus anything when it comes to those awards. Because just like I said, with LeBron, he would probably have how many MVPs by now? He was the most valuable player how many years in a row? With the 2010s decade? They had to stop giving it to him. It's just what it was. So, I mean, it just depends how you look at it.
They're giving Joker MVPs. Bron should have more.
You want to talk about the?
Well,
go ahead.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Right? So that goes in favor of Jordan. You said we can call scoring equal. How? Michael Jordan once averaged 37 points per game. Has LeBron ever done that? No.
Are we going to go off of the best scorers of all time or the ones who average the most per year?
Are you going to let me finish?
Well, you gave me
the argument.
You gave me a positive response.
Your argument was also that was just the little pregnant.
Okay, being dramatic. Go ahead. My bad. Okay, I respect it.
LeBron's stats are more based in longevity, right? If you're talking about who's the greatest scorer, we're looking at points per game. We're looking at playoff performances. We're looking at regular season performances. You can't call that a wash, right? You can't call the defensive stats a wash either. And then you talked about uplifting players and making players better. Is that really true? I don't think so.
What?
Who did Jordan take to the finals? Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley.
Bro, I hate. All right, I just dislike this. I just like the MJ Bron debate, even though it's fun and we do it all the time in the group chat or we do it with a whole bunch of different random people. I hate that debate because it comes to these ridiculous points.
Nigga said, who did MJ take to the finals? Oh, let me name the first person off the top of my head. A Hall of Famer and Scottie Pippen?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they just made it seem like MJ just had, like, plumbers and teachers. Like,
oh, wait, LeBron took Adrian Gauskas, Mo Williams, Antoine Jameson. I believe he was on that team in 07. Who's on that 07 Cavs team? Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It was just like, why is that even that debate in general? Why is that even a debate?
Nigga said, look who Michael Jordan took to the finals.
MJ has literally had help. Like, had help. Bron has not had help for how many? What was it? 8 or something years from 2003 to 2009.
He's not there. He's mentally. He's missing his. He a little ill.
Harper. A bunch of players that after they left him were not able to accomplish the same thing.
Scottie Pippen made the Western Conference.
Exactly, that's false. It's completely false because they were fine the year after MJ had even left. The Bulls were still fine.
When LeBron James gets a player, they get worse. Remember that guy Kevin Love? What was he doing in Minnesota?
Not winning the damn
title. LeBron in Cleveland. Kyrie Irving, same thing. Players.
No. Time out. He's not finna do that. No. Look. This what I'm gonna say. I can't say that people have not gotten worse with Bron because people have gotten worse, especially the perimeter shooters that they ship out every other year, and they show up and do abysmal 20-something%, 30-something% with the Lakers, but do a 38, 39, 40 with a different team. I can't explain that part. What I can tell you is Kyrie definitely did not make it worse. He understood LeBron's greatness. He understood that he has a role to play, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to take a step back, as well as Kevin Love, as well as all these other people that he about to name. He did not make those players worse. They They conformed with him to win. That's what I think. And at the time, Kevin Love, he just already still was injured and all a bunch of other stuff that he's still not talking about. Kyrie's always been injured. I mean, it just is what it is. I don't think any of them played worse. I just think they knew they rolled.
What
do y'all think about that? So what?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah.
No, what you say, Terrence?
Kevin Love and Kyrie got rings, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I need to hear.
And they didn't have rings before who?
Exactly.
So, and the Kyrie one's weird because how do you even say Kyrie was worse?
What was
Cleveland? Did you forget that game they both? Did you forget that game they both dropped 40 something? Or do we forget all the years where he still balled out when no one was there? He still balled when Bron got there. He was just injury prone.
Cleveland was 33-49 the year before Bron came back. He doesn't help his team. They went 53-29 next year. Make sense.
That's what I'm saying. How did Kyrie get worse?
Bro,
I don't understand. That one I don't understand. How did Kyrie get worse?
Just a quick argument to make yourself sound good. You got to make yourself sound good sometime, you know?
Got it.
No clue.
Welcome to reality.
LeBron is able to dominate the game more and take them away from the stardom that they already had because he likes to acquire players and not make them homegrown.
Yeah, I hear you. And everything you said makes total sense if you stop thinking about basketball in like 2010 and if you were still in like points per game equal good and we didn't realize what the value of efficiency, the value of playing in a certain system that gets touches to other people, not simply funneling into one person. Points per game hasn't been the metric for who makes simply the better scorer in like 15 years of discourse. We are so far past that. If you view points per game as the end all be all, great. Then he's going to be your GOAT regardless. But if you understand the value of efficiency, the value of getting a certain type of bucket,
it's about being efficient,
others, and value of making the right play and not simply chasing a high points per game value, it's easy to understand why LeBron is equally as good of a scorer. In his prime, he shot nearly 80% of the rim, which is ridiculous. We don't have the tracking numbers for Jordan back then. It would have been good too. He would have been 68, 70, obviously. Part of that is era. He would have been lower because less spacing. So we could acknowledge that. He wouldn't have been a goddamn 80. I'll tell you that. He wouldn't have been the freight train in the open court that LeBron is. I feel very safe saying LeBron is the best open court scorer getting to the rim, probably of all time, besides the bigs like Shaq. Is that fair?
Hold on, I'm going to have to go 24 seconds on this topic.
24 seconds, and I'll run this again. The question was, if LeBron came first, would there be an argument? I've already given you the factual data that prove we've seen a version of LeBron who was regarded as the uncontented GOAT, which was Kareem. Jordan surpassed him. And I gave you the career stats, which Kareem had more career stats at the time. I gave you the finals MVP. I gave you the finals win. Jordan came into the league and took that away from Kareem. He also took it away from Bird, and he also took it away from Magic.
If LeBron James walked through those doors on his Lakers teams, he would have accomplished just as much as Kareem while being the better player. It wouldn't be an argument. It's entirely irrelevant to focus on what happened to those guys, or we're talking about a hypothetical in which a better player was in those situations.
That's what I'm saying. That is a weird question.
What is your ultimate goal?
To win a championship. I'll go ahead and give you what you want to hear.
Thank you. Well, what other goal would there be?
Keep going.
Okay, anyway. So at the start of each season, you want to win a championship, right?
Yes.
And if we think about some of the greatest winners of all time, right, would you say that winning a three-peat is difficult?
Very so.
So how many times has that happened in history? Do you know?
A
few times, right? So some of the greatest players in history, some of the greatest winners in history have only won one championship, maybe won two in a row, maybe won a few, but they were like sporadic throughout their career. It's rare that you see a team or a player accomplish a three-peat, right? Tim Duncan, he won it, I think, like every other year. He has like 5 of them, but he never did it twice in a row.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant did it 3 times in a row, and it took him and Shaq to do it, right? He did a three-peat, right? I think those 60 Celtics with Cousy and them, they did it like 100 times in a row, whatever it was. I'm just saying, but that was a different era. My point is, in the modern era of basketball, to win 3 times in a row is damn near impossible. Nobody can do it. Those Warriors in the 2015 era to 2020, they won it a bunch of times, but they also couldn't do it 3 times in a row. LeBron James, 2012 and 2013, couldn't do it a 3rd time in a row. Ended up losing to those.
They almost had it.
My point is that a three-peat is hard to come by. And if championships is how we measure greatness in the NBA, how can we say that anyone other than the only man to do it twice in one career is any worse than anybody else ever played the game?
Yeah.
If championships is how we're going to figure out who's the best, then it's not MJ. How many times do we have to do this? This same argument.
And if you bring up Bill Russell, they never go acknowledge it. Nigga, didn't he win 8 in a row?
I don't know.
but they'll never talk about it.
I don't care. I don't care if he won one every other year. He has more than 6. So
Exactly.
why is that not a debate? If like he just said, if we're talking about championships, that's the whole point of basketball, which I don't think is the whole point, but that's just his opinion. Then how is it Michael Jordan then? There should be no other conversation. Just like it's so easy to take Bron out of that conversation because he's not 6-0, it's going to be even easier to take MJ out of that conversation because he don't got 11. I'd rather have 11.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. I think the ring thing is goofy. You want to make a point if you want to make your case sound good, you throw rings in there because you have nothing else to argue.
Yeah, exactly. They only make that point with Brian, but then they completely forget that MJ ain't got the most. And then when they talk about that, well, he's nothing compared to MJ or da 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 da. Okay, cool. And that's how I know that it's just bias, and that's fine. But it's just like
I think it's just more so of the player, more like the impact. Honestly, just is my opinion. Because even though, I mean, Bill Russell has 11, but I mean, I don't think he's like on the same level as Jordan talent wise. As far as like an impact, that's
no. But that part I get. I completely agree with you when it comes to that. My thing is, so because we can acknowledge that we shouldn't even be talking about just championships. Then that's what I'm saying. You can't say, well, because of this and this, the whole point is winning. That's what he just said. The whole point of basketball is to win. So Bill Russell having 11 shouldn't really matter because he won more. So if we're going to be more specific when we bring that argument up, then we need to put some more actual emphasis on what we're talking about. Like Bill Russell has never been the caliber of player that MJ was and won 6. Then we're having a different conversation. But if we're just saying that the whole point is to win, then MJ is not the GOAT. Point blank period.
Ultimate goal is NBA championships. LeBron James, I'm sure, is on record saying that that's what the ultimate goal for any NBA player would be. How do we pick anyone other than the only man who was able to do a 3-peat, which is probably the hardest thing to do in basketball, twice after taking a year off to play baseball, smoke cigars, and gamble?
Lots to unpack there.
Unpack it.
I gotta remember all the crazy shit you just said.
All facts. Like the good brother Deshaun.
First of all, all that would be great and all that'd be dandy if the Basketball Hall of Fame was the Basketball Hall of Fame of 3-peats. If that was the only thing we measured by, and if the top players of all times are only the ones who got 3-peats, then we'd have no conversations. It would be there's like 3 players we're talking about in NBA history. But that's not the case. And yes, the way you measure success is winning championships as a team. That is so contextual. I understand that we treat Michael Jordan like a god who is a one-man army against the world. He's not. It's a 12-man roster, 15 back then. It's so much contextually needed to talk about team versus team that I think that's the general error of what way we talk about basketball in general is saying we measure success via championships. That's part of it, but it's part of a larger whole to understand a player, his impact, his skills, weighing all that individually. So I don't think championships are the end all be all. You obviously need, a requisite amount of success to show that your talent can, translate in the playoffs. I don't think necessarily hitting a certain number is the only way to talk about that. And I certainly don't think 3-peats is the only way that you can justify that. It's very impressive, not take it away. Yeah. But if 3-peats were just the measure, then you would have Bill Russell at 2. I don't believe you have Bill Russell at 2.
No, because there's obviously a lot more to consider.
Exactly.
For sure, right? But when it comes down to it, right? When you're looking at Jordan and LeBron, and they're like kind of neck and neck in pretty much every category except winning, which is what the ultimate goal of an NBA player is, to win. And if you and I'm looking at 2 guys, one who's won more than the other, with pretty much the same stats. And yeah, LeBron's playing 22 years. Michael Jordan played 14 or 15. There's like going to be some discrepancies there. But the fact of the matter is that he played 6 years less and has more accolades, relatively the same amount of stats. I just think if we're going to look at 2 players who are so close, which is why we're having this debate, why not let it come down to, at the end of the day, who was holding the trophy at the end of the season? Michael Jordan did it 6 times in 6 tries.
Yeah, you mentioned it's
24
hard.
seconds.
God, Jesus, you mentioned that it's hard to win in the modern NBA, make 3-peats. That is true. You made it sound like the modern NBA is the same as what Michael Jordan was. Like the modern NBA.
Exactly. That was my other point.
It just straight up not. We're in such a different world than we were in the 90s. Back then, there was way less player movement. It was way easier to make your team and keep them together. We know he had the best team. He's part of that, but he had an amazing supporting cast. The reason LeBron has to cycle through teammates, it's hard to build a good team today when you're not a homegrown, draft all your stars type of team. You can't. Elongated success is harder.
Well, I'm just going to say this. LeBron James, he spent most of the 80s getting his ass whooped by Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. All these guys had every opportunity in the world to leave Chicago and join any of those teams to make sure they had better players around him. But he stuck it out in Chicago. They developed the team. They put players around him that they can win. And then he won 6 in a row outside of his little gambling.
Because it was easier to do that. He just said that. It was way easier to do that. Because the talent was not as vast as now. It was way easier to stay with a team because where were you going? Let's just be honest. Let's have a conversation. Where were you going? If you were playing for Chicago, where were you going? Where were you going?
Ownership had more power back then too. A lot more power. Like you said with the player movement, it wasn't a thing back then. Player empowerment, player movement, whatever you want to call it. Do I think player movement has gotten a little bit too high? Yes.
Oh yes.
You got people like George Paul who think he's better than what he is because he's not good.
Why did you call that man George Paul?
Because he's not Paul George, but he's George Paul. He's not good. But you got people like George Paul thinking he's worth $200 million.
Like, when you said George Paul, was like,
that is new. I had to think about it for a second. I was like, who are you talking about? Did you mean Paul George? Like,
no, his name is George Paul, George Clifford Paul, because he's a goofball, bro. You got people like that who think they're entitled to money that they ain't earned. No MVPs, no playoff success, no championship runs. You not
okay? Hold on, because I'm glad that we're here, and I wish we had Roy. We'll have Roy one day.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Roy's gonna like
he's busy right now.
Yeah, he's.
I don't like that argument, Terrence, because you have to see from his perspective. He's with another superstar caliber person in Kawhi Leonard that is pretty much doing the same thing he's doing, and they gave him
whoa. Superstar is crazy. Those days over. 2019 was last year's superstar. Now he's just the star.
I'm sorry. The Clippers obviously didn't think that because look how much money they gave him.
Well, he took a pay cut.
But he made more money, and Paul George wanted that money too. And they said, no, you're not getting that money. Who's Kawhi?
Injured Kawhi is better than Paul George.
I that's debatable. Sorry.
Give me the dude who don't play.
That's debatable.
Give me the guy who don't play.
Both of them injured is pretty much useless.
Exactly. Give me the one who don't play.
Why? That don't make sense.
George Paul is a fraud.
I understand. I understand the whole issue with that, and that's why he ended up ultimately leaving the Clippers. I understand that because Kawhi is no different than me, and I could argue if I'm Paul George, I feel like I'm better than everybody in the world. Everybody should feel like that.
You should feel like that, but it's a difference in feeling like that and knowing that.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he can feel like that. Does he know that? He probably still think he knows that because he put so much time into his craft. Sometimes you can't worry about certain injuries because they're going to come. So, with that being said, do I think Paul George is better than Kawhi? My opinion, no. I don't think he is. But Kawhi got paid. Paul George looking at him like, we out of eye. I should get paid too. And I think that he should have got paid. Or they both shouldn't have got paid.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna win a championship, I mean, or at least compete for one, I mean, you gotta make it work. Because they both should have got paid, money, or they both should have save money to make other moves too. So I mean,
you can't. I don't understand why you think you're gonna have two star players like that, and you think that you're gonna be able to pay someone else more when they both playing the same amount of times.
Or they paid James Harden. Look how that's working out. They balling, and he's balling
because
he clearly made the right decision.
It took a back seat. And James Harden wasn't the James Harden coming into the Clippers that we thought he was until he got back in the front seat. He's very ball dominant.
James Harden now. See, but that's the thing. If Kawhi can somehow come back healthy, hope he do. I hope he do. I pray he do.
Nah, bro, he's not coming back this year.
I've heard dude's been crying because he ain't been.
He's actually supposed to come back soon against the Hawks.
Yeah, let me know.
I hope he do because if James Harden continues to play like this, Kawhi come back and beat Kawhi. I think that's a better duo than Paul George and Kawhi.
But that wasn't the argument. The argument wasn't about who's the better duo.
I'm sorry, I said his name wrong. George Paul.
But please, you're throwing me off. Can we
just
say ball game?
I'm just gonna call him George. Matter of fact, he's George. He's just George.
Mr. George.
He's a fraud.
All right, man. We appreciate y'all for episode 61. We didn't watch the whole video. If Terrence wants to link the full video because it's an hour long, he can. Also, he'll probably link our last video, which is episode 60. Our personal Instagrams are right here: Don King, Wrestling Geek, I am GB. Make sure you check out the GB3 show. Give me more details on that, please.
Yeah, so you can follow at the GB3 show on both IG and X. Saturdays from noon to 1 p.m. So make sure y'all check it out.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this video is going to be ultra super long, so I'm going to have to break this down. I might just make the Bradley Bill section a whole video on its own. So that means the original video is probably going to be like maybe 30, 40 minutes. Who cares?
I mean, if you need to break it down, then I would say do. But if you don't need to, I mean, that's totally up to you. Whatever
y'all
you
want to
decide.
keep the video going, at least one more section, just to top off a little bit, to have a little more of the video. But if y'all don't want to, that's fine. Either way, we got a video.
Yeah. I think we can end it here. If we would do something else, we can do it after. But make sure you check out Wrestling Geek as well. Subscribe to that. Like, go show some love over there. Yeah. So our TikTok, Know It All Podcast, Instagram, Know It All Podcast YT. Check out anything on there. Please reach out to our other YouTube videos. He'll probably link one of those. And yeah, thank you for episode 61, LeBron versus 10 LeBron haters. Like I said, that video is an hour long. So if you want to go see that, if he links it, go ahead. But go over there and look at it yourself. But yeah, we appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Bye.